For me, a book is a mirror. It reflects the author's point of view and takes us on a journey through their imagination, as well as our own. Hi, my name is Frida, and this is my quest. When I read a book, I'm transported into another world, where my imagination creates its own version of the story. That's my inspiration for my quest. I want to open people's eyes to see the world in color. I love to paint pictures with words so that everyone can experience the beauty of our world, no matter who they are or where they live. I want to connect people to nature. But how can I connect people to nature when forests have become parking lots and rivers have become highways? The world is falling apart, and the beauty I see and want to share with others is disappearing. David Attenborough once said, "Understanding the natural world is not only a source of great curiosity, but also of great fulfillment." Imagine a world in which we have lost all curiosity and therefore no longer find fulfillment. We should remind ourselves that we are a part of nature, and that everything is one. I started making up stories from an early age. I grew up with any siblings and spent the most time with adults or alone, so I had to keep myself busy. I always had a special love for animals and plants. I loved watching. I loved watching. I loved watching nature documentaries and the pictures from my big animal encyclopedia, even though I couldn't really read back then. But over time, I became more aware that the world I live in is falling apart. And is falling apart. I saw pictures of melting glaciers and burning forests. I learned what climate change means. Our generation has to deal with all the problems they've been ignored for so many years. An example, Jakarta, a city of millions that is slowly being swallowed by the sea. Because don't many people have running water, groundwater is being pumped out. That caused the land to sink. At the same time, sea levels are rising. According to the BBC, by 2050, large parts of the city could be underwater. I wonder why we don't act, even though we feel the consequences everywhere. Albert Einstein said, "The world won't be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch and do nothing." This is true. Those who are in the position to act, those who are in the position to make change don't act, and those who want to help have no voice. Just this year, I heard the word ecophobia for the first time. It describes the fear of climate change. You feel helpless and unable to act. That was exactly what I felt back then. The fear that it could be already too late. But over time, I've learned that we can do something. Even the steps we take are still very small. For me, the first step was telling stories. Through them, I can make the beauty of nature visible. I hope that others will rediscover their connection to nature, or perhaps discover it for the first time. That they see what I see, that they feel why it's important to preserve this world. The word biophilia describes exactly this feeling, the deep love for nature. So what is my quest? I've decided to write and illustrate a book. Clamor, The Bells of the Fog is a novel in which I've created another reality that starts where the city ends and the forest begins. My story takes place. My story takes place in a forest, full of legends and fairy tales, but it also holds secrets. Noah, the main character of my story, has to face several obstacles. His destiny is to protect nature, but the antagonists try to destroy his heart, much like humanity is destroying our environment. When I started writing, I thought I would easily have it finished and published by today. But over time, I realized it wasn't as easy. Even though I worked really hard on this book, time still passed too quickly, and I felt like I wasn't making any progress. For a long time, I didn't realize I was standing in my own way. I ignored how overwhelmed and exhausted I felt, and it pushed me to the limit because I had too high expectations of myself. Now I'm at a point where I understand that writing a book takes much more time. I've decided to finish my book in my own pace because it's my passion project and I want to be proud of it. My book will be published soon. I've already written about 300 pages. An excerpt is already online. You can find it following the barcode. I've learned a lot along my way, especially that putting pressure on myself doesn't help any creative process. My book shows how disconnected many people have become, and that nature is important and healing. And protecting it deserves more attention. My personal journey while writing this book taught me how important it is to take care of myself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. My vision is a world in which people once again see themselves as a part of nature, in which we don't seek to control or exploit everything, but instead learn to listen, marvel, and protect. I hope that my book will help to rebuild this connection to ourselves, to others, and to nature. We need nature. Nature doesn't need us. Nature doesn't care who we are or what we do. When we destroy our earth, we aren't destroying nature. We are destroying ourselves, humanity. Nature is stronger than we are. What we do to it will come back to us. Because everything we do has consequences. Nature will recover. Whether it takes 50, 100, or 1,000,000 years, it will rise again. But probably we won't. Change happens every day, every second. And we should decide what kind of change we want to be. That kind that preserves or that kind that destroys. We are change. We decide how long we want to live on this earth. I am change and I will no longer allow others to destroy my future. You are change, and that means responsibility. I want to thank my parents for supporting me. Thank you, Anina, for inspiring me to write, and Haley to helping me edit. Thank you to all of my encouraging teachers, and finally, thank you to myself for never giving up.